The big room was full of angry voices. 12 different alien species sat around a huge table that floated in the air. Their words echoed off the metal walls of the space station called Nexus Prime. This was where the Galactic Coalition made all their important decisions. Admiral Kong-Wu sat very still in his chair. He was the only human in the room. His dark uniform was simple and clean. He did not speak much, but his eyes watched everything. Next to him sat Sojin, a young woman who studied alien life. She looked nervous and kept checking her notes. "The old humans are weak," shouted Veltar, the leader of the reptile people called Skahari. His green scales moved when he talked. "They fight each other all the time. They have no unity." The other aliens nodded and made sounds of agreement. Some had 4 arms, some had no arms at all. Some looked like giant bugs, others like floating gas clouds. But they all agreed on one thing. Humans were not important. Morden, the queen of the insect people, clicked her sharp teeth. "We have studied their ships. Very simple, very slow. Our youngest pilots could destroy them easily." Admiral Kong-Wu still said nothing. He just listened and watched. Sometimes he wrote small notes on his tablet. Ambassador Yansu stood up. She was an older woman with gray hair. She had been trying to make peace for 6 months. "Please, honored members of the coalition, my people do not want war. We only want to trade and learn from you." The aliens laughed. The sound was not pleasant. Some hissed, some buzzed, some made wet gurgling noises. "Your people are children," said a tall alien with blue skin and 6 eyes. "You barely learned to travel between stars. We have been doing this for thousands of years." "Look at their planet," said another alien. This one looked like a giant crab. "They have so many different countries. They speak hundreds of languages. They cannot even agree on simple things. How can they fight us?" Veltar stood up. His yellow eyes looked at the humans with disgust. "We have decided, Earth has too many good things. Metal, water, life. We cannot let such valuable things stay with people who do not know how to use them properly." Sojin looked scared. She whispered to Admiral Kong-Wu, "Sir, what do we do?" Admiral just smiled a little. It was not a worried smile. It was something else. "We will take your solar system in 3 days. Veltar continued. "You can surrender now, or we will take it by force. Either way, humans will serve the coalition. You will do what we tell you to do." Ambassador Yansu tried again. "Please, there must be another way. We can share our resources. We can work together. Morden clicked her teeth again. "What can you possibly offer us? Your weapons are like toys. Your ships are like flying rocks. We have seen your military files. We know exactly how weak you are." The admiral's smile got a little bigger, but he still said nothing. "Your biggest ship has only 50 weapons, said the blue alien. "Our smallest ship has 200. Your fastest ship moves like a 6 space whale. This will not even be a real fight. We have 10,000 ships ready to attack," Veltar announced proudly. "You have maybe a few hundred. The math is very simple." Suddenly, the room got very quiet. The lights dimmed, a new voice spoke, but no one could see who was talking. "You are making a mistake." All the aliens looked around. The voice was old and tired, but also very powerful. A blue light appeared in the center of the room. Slowly, a shape formed in the light. It was hard to see clearly, but it looked like a very old alien. No one knew what species it was. "Who dares interrupt the Coalition Council?" Veltar demanded. "I am the Wanderer," the old voice said. "I have watched civilizations rise and fall. For longer than your species have existed. I have seen this pattern before." "What pattern?" Morden asked. She sounded less confident now. "You look at the humans and see weakness. You see their fighting, their division, their simple technology. You think this makes them easy to defeat because it does," shouted the crab-like alien. "Any fool can see that." The Wanderer's image became clearer. The aliens could see it was very old, with deep lines on its face and sad, ancient eyes. "I am here to give you a warning. Do not attack the humans. You have no idea what you are facing. This is your last chance before humanity strikes back." The aliens looked at each other and started laughing again. "An old superstition," Veltar hissed. "You fear ghosts and stories. The humans are nothing special," said the blue alien. "We have their military data. We know their capabilities. They are insects compared to us. We could defeat them with one hand tied behind our backs," added Morden. The Wanderer's image began to fade. "You have been warned. When the time comes, remember that you chose this path. The humans did not start this war. You did." "Wait, Ambassador," Yansu called out. "Please, tell us what you mean." But the Wanderer was gone. The room was bright again. Veltar stood up and slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Enough of this nonsense. We vote now. All in favor of taking the human solar system." Every alien raised their hand, claw, tentacle, or whatever they used to vote. The decision was unanimous. "It is decided," Veltar announced. "In 72 hours, the coalition fleet will enter human space. The humans will surrender or be destroyed. This meeting is over." The aliens began to leave, talking excitedly about their easy victory. They made jokes about how quickly it would all be over. Some were already discussing how to divide Earth's resources. Ambassador Yansu looked defeated. She gathered her papers with shaking hands. "I'm sorry," she whispered to Admiral Kong-Wu. "I tried everything." Admiral Kong-Wu finally spoke. His voice was calm and quiet. "You did exactly what you were supposed to do." Sojin looked confused. "Sir, what do you mean?" The admiral stood up and straightened his uniform. "Pack your things. We're going home." "But sir, the negotiations failed. They're going to attack us." Admiral Kong-Wu looked at the empty chairs where the aliens had been sitting. His smile was not worried or scared. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. "Sojin, how long have you been studying these aliens?" 6 months, sir. Since first contact, and what have you learned about them?" Sojin thought for a moment. "They're very proud. They think they're much better than other species. They always fight the same way. With big fleets in open space, they like to show off their power." "Very good, and what else?" They don't really understand humans. They think our differences make us weak." Admiral Kong-Wu nodded. "They see our arguments and think we cannot work together. They see our emotions and think we cannot think clearly. They see our simple ships and think we are not smart. But sir, aren't they right? We do argue a lot. Our ships are simpler than theirs." The admiral's smile got bigger. "Sojin, what is the first rule of war?" She thought hard. "Know your enemy." Close. "The first rule is, never let your enemy know your true strength until it's too late for them to prepare." Sojin's eyes got wide. "Sir, are you saying?" "I'm saying the real show is about to begin, and these aliens have no idea what they just started." As they walked toward their ship, Admiral Kong-Wu activated his communicator. "This is Admiral Kong-Wu to Earth Command. The fish have taken the bait. Operation Silent Thunder is now active. All units, prepare for war." The response came back immediately. "Copy that, Admiral. Welcome home. Let's show them what humans can really do." Behind them, the alien species were already preparing their fleets, confident in their easy victory. They had no idea that everything they thought they knew about humans was exactly what humans wanted them to think. The trap was set. Now it was time to spring it. The ship Soul's Pride flew through space toward Earth. Captain Tejo sat in the pilot's seat, his hands steady on the controls. The ship looked old and simple from the outside, but inside, strange lights blinked on hidden panels. Admiral Kong-Wu stood behind him, looking out at the stars. Sojin was still confused about what had happened at the meeting. "Sir," she said quietly, "I don't understand. The aliens have 10,000 ships. We barely have a few hundred. How can we possibly win?" The admiral turned to look at her. "Sojin, what did you tell them about our military?" I gave them the files they asked for. Our ship designs, our weapon power, our fleet numbers, just like you told me to." "And were those files correct?" Sojin hesitated. "You said to give them exactly what they wanted to see." Admiral Kong-Wu nodded. "Captain Tejo, show her." Captain Tejo pressed a button. Suddenly, the simple control room changed. Hidden screens came out of the walls. New control panels appeared. The old-looking ship was actually full of advanced technology. "This is impossible," Sojin whispered. "These systems are far beyond anything in our files." Sojin, the admiral, said, "You've been part of the most important mission in human history. Everything the aliens think they know about us is a lie." 3 hours later, they arrived at Earth. But as they got closer, Sojin saw something that made her gasp. There were not just a few hundred human ships waiting. There were thousands. They hung in space around Earth like a cloud of metal stars. "Where did they all come from?" she asked. "They were always here," Captain Tejo said with a grin. "Hidden, waiting." The ship landed at a secret military base in the mountains. Admiral Kong-Wu led Sojin through long tunnels deep underground. The tunnels were full of people working on computers, building weapons, and planning strategies. They entered a huge room where a tall man in a general's uniform was studying a giant screen. The screen showed the positions of alien ships moving toward Earth. "Admiral Kong-Wu," the general said, without turning around. "How did our performance go?" "Perfect. General Park Ji-ho. They think we're weak, divided, and scared. They have no idea what's coming." General Park Ji-ho finally turned around. He was a serious man with gray hair and hard eyes. "Good, our people have been working for 6 months to prepare for this moment." 6 months, Sojin asked, "But we only made first contact 6 months ago." "Exactly," the general said. "The moment we detected their ships approaching our solar system, we began preparing." The first contact meeting was not a greeting, it was a military intelligence operation. Sojin felt dizzy. "You mean, everything was planned? Every word, every action, every piece of information we gave them," Admiral Kong-Wu confirmed. "We studied them while they thought they were studying us." General Park Ji-ho walked to another screen. "Dr. Kim Soo-jin, report." A woman in a white coat approached. She was not the Sojin from the diplomatic mission, but a different person with the same first name. "General, our analysis is complete," Dr. Kim Soo-jin said. The aliens are exactly as predictable as we hoped. They fight in large groups, always attack head-on, and they never change their tactics during battle. What about their technology? Admiral Kang Wu asked. Advanced, but specialized. Their ships are built for one type of fighting. Our ships are built to adapt to any situation. Sojin from the diplomatic mission was still trying to understand. But how did you hide all this? The aliens scanned our planet. They studied our cities. They saw what we wanted them to see. General Park Ji-ho explained. Our real military bases are underground or hidden in space. Our real ships were disguised as asteroids or space junk. Our best weapons were never shown to them. A young man in a pilot's uniform approached. General, Captain Lee Minho reporting. My squadron is ready. How many fighters do we have prepared? The general asked. 2,000 in the first wave. Sir, another 3,000 in reserve. Sojin's mouth fell open. But you told the aliens we only had 50 fighters. Captain Lee Minho laughed. We do have 50 old fighters. Those are the ones we let them see. The rest are new designs. They know nothing about. General Park Ji-ho led them to a window that looked out into a giant underground hangar. Sojin could see hundreds of sleek, advanced spacecraft. They looked nothing like the simple ships the aliens had studied. These fighters can move faster and turn quicker than anything the aliens have, Captain Lee Minho explained. But more importantly, they can think. Artificial intelligence, connected to human pilots. The ship learns and adapts during battle. The aliens have never seen anything like it. Another officer approached. General Commander Bae Young-ho, reporting from Special Operations. Commander Bae Young-ho was a quiet man with sharp eyes. He looked like he could be dangerous if he needed to be. What's the status of our infiltration program? General Park Ji-ho asked. All alien ships in their fleet have been compromised. Sir, every piece of technology they stole from us contained hidden programs. When the battle starts, we can control their own systems against them. Sojin sat down in a chair. This was too much to understand. You mean we can control their ships? Not control, Commander Bae Young-ho corrected. Disrupt, confuse, make their weapons fire at the wrong targets. Make their engines shut down at the wrong time. Make their communications stop working when they need them most. But how did you get these programs into their systems? Admiral Kang Wu smiled. Remember all those times they hacked into our computers. Every time they stole information, they also downloaded our gifts to them. A woman with Lieutenant bars walked up to them. General, Lieutenant Nari from Intelligence. We have a problem. What kind of problem? General Park Ji-ho asked. The aliens are moving faster than expected. They'll be here in 48 hours, not 72. Are our people ready? Yes, sir. All units are in position. The trap is set. General Park Ji-ho nodded. Good. The sooner this starts, the sooner we can show the galaxy what humans are really capable of. He turned to Sojin. You did excellent work up there. Your confusion and fear looked completely real. The aliens never suspected you were acting. I wasn't acting, Sojin admitted. I really didn't know any of this. We know, Admiral Kang Wu said gently. We needed your reactions to be genuine. The aliens are very good at detecting lies, but they can't detect truth that looks like fear. Captain Lee Minho checked his watch. General, permission to prepare my pilots. Granted. Remember, the first phase is critical. We need to make them think they're winning at first. Understood, sir. Let them get close, then show them what human fighters can really do. As Captain Lee Minho left, Sojin asked, what happens if this doesn't work? What if they're stronger than you think? General Park Ji-ho looked at her seriously. Sojin, there's something you need to understand about humans. We don't just plan for victory. We plan for survival. Even if somehow they defeat our main fleet, we have backup plans. What kind of backup plans? Hidden bases throughout the solar system. Secret weapons they don't know exist. And most importantly, the knowledge that humans never give up. Ever. Commander Bae Young-ho added. The aliens think they understand war because they've conquered weaker species. But they've never fought a species that treats war like a puzzle to solve. Other species fight the same way their ancestors did. Dr. Kim Soo-jin explained. Humans study each battle and become better. We learn from every mistake and turn it into an advantage. Alarms started ringing throughout the base. A voice on the speakers announced, all personnel, this is not a drill. Alien fleet detected at the edge of our solar system. Estimated arrival in 36 hours. All units to battle stations. General Park Ji-ho stood up straight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been preparing for. In 36 hours, the galaxy will learn that humans are not prey. We are predators. Sojin felt scared but also excited. General, what should I do? You're going to help us win this war, he said. Your job now is to watch and learn. After this battle, you'll help us teach other species how humans think. As people rushed around the base preparing for battle, Sojin realized something important. The aliens thought humans were weak because they fought each other and disagreed about things. But maybe that's exactly what made humans strong. All that fighting and arguing had taught them how to win against any enemy. The trap was ready. Soon, the aliens would learn that humans had been hunters long before they reached the stars, and they were about to become the hunted. The alien fleet moved through space like a giant metal cloud. 10,000 ships of all sizes spread across the darkness. At the front flew the massive command ships, each one bigger than a human city. Behind them came the battlecruisers, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. On the largest ship, Veltar stood on the bridge watching the screens. His yellow reptile eyes were bright with excitement. How much longer until we reach Earth? 6 hours, Commander, replied his navigation officer. The human planet grows larger on our screens. Good. Have you detected any human ships yet? A few small patrol vessels, sir. They're running away from us. Just as we expected, Veltar laughed, showing his sharp teeth. Cowards. They know they cannot fight us. But Veltar was wrong. The small ships running away were not patrol vessels. They were Captain Ko Jin Young's stealth ships, and they were not running. They were leading. Captain Ko Jin Young sat in his ship Shadow Dancer, watching the alien fleet on his screens. His ship looked like empty space to alien sensors. Human stealth technology was far beyond what the aliens imagined. All Shadow units. This is Shadow Leader. He spoke quietly into his microphone. The fish are following us exactly where we want them. Prepare for Phase 1. Around him, invisible to alien eyes, 50 stealth ships moved through space. They had been following the alien fleet for 3 days, studying their movements, learning their patterns. Shadow 2 to Shadow Leader, came a voice through his headset. I count 47 command ships in their fleet. Should we target them? All negative. We hit the 3 largest ones only. We want confusion, not total destruction. Not yet. Captain Ko Jin Young looked at his tactical display. The aliens were flying in perfect formation, just like they always did. They never changed. That was their weakness. All units, begin Phase 1. Hit them hard, hit them fast, then disappear. The stealth ships moved like ghosts through the alien fleet. The aliens never saw them coming. Suddenly, explosions began blooming throughout the fleet. The 3 largest command ships erupted in fire as human missiles struck their bridge sections. Communication signals went dead. Orders stopped flowing. Through the fleet, what's happening? Veltar screamed as his own ship shook from an explosion. Where are they attacking from? Sir, we can't see anything. His sensor officer shouted back. Our screens show empty space, but we're under attack. Impossible. No one can hide from our sensors, but the humans could. While the aliens had been studying human ships, humans had been studying alien sensors. Every human stealth ship was designed to be completely invisible to coalition technology. The stealth ships struck 12 more vessels, targeting engine rooms and weapon systems. They didn't try to destroy the ships completely. Instead, they damaged them just enough to slow down the entire fleet. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, the human ships vanished again. Status report, Veltar demanded. 15 ships damaged. Sir, 3 command vessels lost all communications. But sir, we never saw what hit us. Veltar's scales turned darker with anger. It must be some kind of trick. Keep moving, toward Earth. We still have thousands of ships. Whatever they used, they can't have many of those weapons. Again, Veltar was wrong. As the alien fleet moved deeper into the solar system, they passed what looked like empty asteroids floating in space. The rocks were dark and cold, showing no signs of life. Lieutenant Shin Era sat inside one of these asteroids. Watching the alien ships pass by on her screens, her finger hovered over a red button. Asteroid Base 7 to control, she whispered. Enemy fleet is in position. Request permission to activate Phase 2. Control to all asteroid bases, came the reply. Permission granted. Wake up the swarm. Lieutenant Shin Era pressed the button. All around the alien fleet, thousands of asteroids suddenly came to life. They weren't rocks at all. They were human drone ships, designed to look exactly like space debris. They had been waiting in the asteroid belt for months. The drones moved fast, much faster than the aliens expected. Each one was small but carried powerful weapons and advanced AI systems that could think and learn. Sir, the alien sensor officer screamed. The asteroids are moving. They're ships, thousands of them. Veltar watched in horror as his screens filled with small, fast-moving targets. How many? I count, 5,000. No, 8,000. Sir, they're everywhere. The human drones swarmed the alien fleet like angry bees. They didn't attack in formation like the aliens expected. Instead, each drone acted independently, finding weak spots and exploiting them. But the drones had another surprise. As they attacked, they released computer viruses into the alien ship's systems. Major Han Dong-Su had spent months creating these digital weapons. Sir, another alien officer called out, our weapon systems are malfunctioning. Some of our guns are firing at our own ships. What? That's impossible. Sir, our navigation systems are also acting strangely. Some ships are turning in the wrong directions. The viruses spread through the alien fleet like a disease. Ships that tried to communicate with each other accidentally infected their neighbors. Within an hour, half the fleet was experiencing computer problems. But the humans weren't finished. Colonel Choi Hyunwoo watched the battle from his command ship hidden behind Jupiter's largest moon. Phase 3. Commence operations. Sir, his communications officer said, Captain Lee Minho reports his fighter squadrons are ready. Tell him he's cleared for attack. Show these aliens what human pilots can really do. 2,000 human fighters suddenly appeared from behind planets and moons throughout the solar system. They had been hiding, waiting for the perfect moment. The fighters were small and fast, but what made them special was how they worked together. Unlike alien pilots who followed orders, human pilots could think for themselves and adapt to any situation. Captain Lee Minho led the first squadron. His fighter was connected to an AI system, but the AI didn't control the ship. Instead, it helped him think faster and see more clearly. All units, this is Strike Leader, he announced. Remember, we're not trying to destroy their entire fleet. We're trying to teach them a lesson. Target their weapons and engines, not their life support. Copy that, Strike Leader. Beginning, attack runs. The human fighters moved through the alien fleet like they were dancing. They spun and twisted in ways that alien ships couldn't match. When alien weapons tried to target them, they were already somewhere else. How are they moving like that? Veltar demanded. Our ships are faster and more powerful. Sir, their ships seem to predict where our weapons will fire before we fire them. The human fighters had another advantage. While alien ships were built for one type of combat, human ships could change their fighting style instantly. When aliens tried to swarm them, the humans spread out. When aliens tried to corner them, the humans grouped together. Sergeant Kim Hae-jin flew her fighter through a group of alien ships, her weapons carefully targeting their engine systems. Strike 7 to Strike Leader. These aliens fight exactly the same way every time. It's like they can't learn new tricks. Copy that, Strike 7. Keep hitting them, but remember, minimal casualties. We want prisoners, not corpses. As the battle continued, the aliens began to realize they were not fighting a normal enemy. Human tactics changed every few minutes. Just when the aliens thought they understood the pattern, humans did something completely different. Sir Velt, tactical officer reported, we've lost 30% of our fleet capability. Recommend we retreat and regroup. Retreat, Veltar roared. We have 10,000 ships. They cannot have more than a few hundred. Sir, our scanners show approximately 15,000 human vessels now active in this system. Veltar's eyes went wide. 15,000. Where did they all come from? Unknown. Sir, they seem to appear from nowhere, attack, then disappear again. What the aliens didn't understand was that humans had been building ships in secret for months. Every asteroid mining station was actually a hidden shipyard. Every space station was actually a military base. The battle was not going as the aliens had planned. They had expected to fight a few hundred primitive ships. Instead, they were facing a coordinated force that seemed to know their every move before they made it. Colonel Choi Hyunwoo smiled as he watched the tactical display. Communications. Send a message to the alien fleet. What should it say? Sir, tell them this. You were warned. This is what happens when you attack humans. Surrender now, and we will show mercy. Continue fighting, and learn why the galaxy should fear us. The message was sent on all frequencies. Every alien ship received it. On Veltar's bridge, silence fell as the aliens realized the truth. They weren't hunters anymore. They had become the hunted. And the hunt was just beginning. Veltar stared at his screens in shock. Half of his great fleet was damaged or destroyed. The other half was scattered across the solar system, trying to escape the human attacks. Get me Queen Morden, he ordered his communications officer. We need to work together, or we'll all die here. The insect queen's face appeared on the screen. Her compound eyes were wide with fear. Commander Veltar, my ships are being hunted like animals. These humans fight like nothing we've ever seen. I know, Veltar hissed. We must retreat and regroup. Call all remaining ships to fall back to the outer system. But retreating from humans was not like retreating from other enemies. Commander Oseo-chin watched the alien ships trying to escape. He sat in his command ship Hunter's Moon, studying their movements. Next to him, Captain Ru Yunji was working at a psychology station, analyzing each alien species. Captain Ru, Commander O said, what can you tell me about their mental state? Captain Ju Yunji looked up from her screens. The reptile people are angry and confused. They've never lost a battle before. The insect people are scared because their queen is scared. The blue-skinned ones are trying to calculate odds, but the numbers don't make sense to them. Good fear makes enemies make mistakes. What do you recommend? Don't let them rest. Keep attacking, but attack each species differently. Make them think we know exactly how to hurt them. Commander O nodded. All hunter units, this is Hunter Leader. Begin Phase 4. Remember, we're not just fighting their ships, we're fighting their minds. The human pursuit began. But this wasn't like normal space combat. This was psychological warfare designed to break the aliens' will to fight. For the reptile people, humans used heat attacks. Dr. Yumyung had discovered that the Skahari relied on thermal vision to see their enemies. Human ships released clouds of hot gas that blinded their sensors and made them fire at empty space. "I can't see anything," screamed a reptile pilot. "There's heat everywhere, but no targets." "Stay calm," Veltar ordered, but his own voice was shaking. "Use your other sensors." "Sir, our other sensors are being jammed by some kind of signal." The humans had studied every alien species for 6 months. They knew exactly how each one saw, heard, and thought. For the insect people, humans used sonic weapons. The Chittic communicated through high-pitched sounds that humans couldn't hear. But humans could make those sounds, and they could make them wrong. Queen Morden held her head in pain as false signals filled her mind. "My children. I can't hear my children. Something is blocking our connection." Her soldiers flew in circles, confused and lost without their queen's guidance. They crashed into each other and fired at shadows. For the blue-skinned mathematics people, humans used chaos. The Kethani always calculated the best path for everything. They couldn't understand random actions. "This makes no sense." Their leader cried human ship A7 should turn left, but it's turning right. Ship B3 should retreat, but it's attacking. "There's no pattern. Calculate faster." His officers shouted back, "I can't. Every time I think I understand their plan, they do something completely different." Admiral Song Taemin watched from his flagship as the alien fleet fell apart. Each species was being attacked in exactly the way that would hurt them most. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, "the alien fleet is breaking up. They're not working together anymore." "Good, Captain Ru. What's their psychological state now?" Captain Ru, Yunji smiled. "They're not just scared, sir. They're confused. They can't understand how we know so much about them." "Excellent. Begin the final phase. Show them the truth." Suddenly, all human attacks stopped. The solar system became quiet. The surviving alien ships floated in space, waiting for the next attack. Then a new voice spoke on all communication channels. It was old and tired, but the aliens recognized it immediately. "I warned you," the Wanderer said. "But you did not listen." Queen Morden's voice cracked with fear. "Wanderer, help us. The humans are monsters." "No," the Wanderer replied sadly. "You are the monsters. You came here to destroy and conquer. The humans are simply defending themselves." "But they're too strong," Veltar protested. "This is impossible. They're just a primitive species." "That is what you chose to believe. Now, let me tell you the truth about humans." The Wanderer's image appeared on every screen in both fleets. The ancient being looked tired and sad. "Humans are not like other species. Most intelligent life evolves on peaceful planets with stable climates. You developed in safety, so you learned to fight in simple, predictable ways." "What does that mean?" asked the blue-skinned leader. "Humans evolved on a death world. Ice ages, volcanoes, earthquakes, diseases, predators. Their planet tried to kill them for millions of years. To survive, they had to become the most adaptable species in the galaxy." Admiral Song Taemin listened to the Wanderer's words. The old being was telling the aliens secrets that humans had always known about themselves. "Every other species fights the same way their ancestors did," the Wanderer continued. "Humans study every battle and become better. They turn every weakness into strength. They use every failure as a lesson. But we studied them." Veltar protested. "We knew their capabilities. You knew what they wanted you to know. Humans are natural hunters. They show weakness to make prey feel safe, then strike when the prey is not prepared." Queen Morden's voice was barely a whisper. "You mean they planned all of this? From the moment they detected your ships approaching their system, the first contact meeting, the diplomatic mission, the files you stole, all of it was bait. In a trap." The surviving aliens looked at their screens in horror. They had been so confident, so sure of their superiority. Now they realized they had been played like children. "But why?" asked the blue-skinned leader. "Why didn't they just destroy us immediately?" Admiral Song Taemin's voice answered over the communication channel. "Because we're not like you. We don't enjoy killing. We prefer to win without unnecessary death. You, you were listening. We've been listening to everything. Your private communications, your tactical discussions, your fears. We know more about you than you know about yourselves." Veltar felt his scales go cold. "How long have you been inside our systems?" "Since the day you first hacked into our computers. Every time you stole information from us, you also downloaded our programs. We've been watching you through your own sensors." Dr. Yumyung's voice joined the conversation. "We know that Skahari children are afraid of the dark. We know that Chittic workers die if separated from their queen for too long. We know that Kethani mathematicians go insane when faced with unsolvable problems. We studied you the same way we study any predator that threatens us." Commander Osiochin added. "We learned your weaknesses, your habits, your fears. Then we used that knowledge to defeat you." The aliens realized the terrible truth. They had thought they were the hunters, but they had been the hunted from the very beginning. What do you want from us? Queen Morden asked quietly. Admiral Song Taemin's reply was calm and measured. Surrender. Completely and unconditionally. Your ships, your weapons, your technology, everything. And if we refuse, then we will show you what human weapons can really do. So far, we have been gentle with you. We have tried not to kill unnecessarily, but if you force us to use our full strength, the Admiral let the threat hang in space. The aliens looked at their damaged fleets and realized they had no choice. They had come to conquer Earth. Instead, they had learned that humans were the most dangerous predators in the galaxy, and the hunt was over. 3 days after the surrender, President Lim Dae-hai stood in the same council chamber where the aliens had declared war on humanity. But now everything was different. Human guards stood at the doors. Human flags hung from the walls, and the aliens sat quietly, waiting to learn their fate. Veltar's scales had turned gray with defeat. Queen Morden's compound eyes were dim and lifeless. The blue-skinned Kethany leader could not stop his hands from shaking. All of them had expected to die. President Lim Dae-hai was a small woman with kind eyes, but when she spoke, her voice carried the weight of human authority. Members of the former Galactic Coalition, she began. You came to our solar system to conquer us. You failed. Now you must face the consequences of your actions. The aliens waited for their death sentences. In their experience, conquerors always killed the conquered. However, President Lim Dae-hai continued, humans are not like you. We do not believe in destroying entire civilizations. Instead, we offer you something that has never been offered before in galactic history. She paused, looking at each alien leader. We offer you the chance to become better than you were. Veltar raised his head in confusion. What do you mean? Admiral Kong Wu stepped forward. He no longer pretended to be just a diplomat. Now he wore the uniform of Supreme Military Strategist. You will surrender all military forces, he announced. Your weapons, your warships, your soldiers, all of it will be turned over to human control. You're going to make us defenseless? Queen Morden asked. No, Admiral Kong Wu replied. We're going to teach you how to defend yourselves properly. Your old way of fighting is wasteful and stupid. You lose too many lives and accomplish too little. Ambassador Park Soyoung, the new head of interspecies relations, approached the table. You will also share all of your scientific knowledge with humanity. Your medicine, your technology, your history, everything. And in return, the Kethany leader asked, in return, we will share our knowledge with you, but more importantly, we will teach you how to think like humans. The aliens looked confused. Ambassador Park Soyoung smiled. You see conflict as something to avoid or win quickly. We see conflict as a tool for growth. You see differences as weaknesses. We see differences as strengths. You see change as dangerous. We see change as necessary. General Kwon Jae-soon entered the chamber. He was a tall man with quiet confidence. The galaxy will be reorganized under human guidance. Not human rule, human guidance. What's the difference? Veltar asked. Rule means we make all the decisions. Guidance means we teach you how to make better decisions for yourselves. Dr. On Hyojin, the new director of species integration, opened a holographic display. It showed star charts of the entire galaxy. Each of your species will be assigned human advisors, she explained. These advisors will help you rebuild your militaries, your governments, and your societies, using human principles. What principles? Queen Morden asked suspiciously. Adaptability, innovation, individual thinking, controlled competition, the ability to learn from failure. President Lim Dae-hai stood up. But understand this clearly. This is not a request. This is the price of your survival. You attacked us, you lost. Now you will change, or you will be removed from the galaxy entirely. The aliens sat in stunned silence. They had expected death or slavery. Instead, they were being offered a chance to transform themselves. Why? Veltar finally asked. Why not just kill us and take our territory? Admiral Kong Wu answered. Because dead enemies teach you nothing. Living enemies who become allies teach you everything. Besides, President Lim Dae-hai added, we need you, need us. For what? To help us face what's coming. The Wanderer's image suddenly appeared in the chamber. The ancient being looked directly at President Lim Dae-hai. You know, don't you? The Wanderer asked. No, what? Demanded Veltar. President Lim Dae-hai nodded to the Wanderer. We know that there are other threats out there. Species and forces that make your coalition look like children playing with toys. The galaxy is vast, the Wanderer confirmed. The coalition controlled only a small part of it. Beyond your borders lie enemies that would destroy all of us without hesitation. Dr. On Hyojin activated another display. It showed the edge of known space, where strange signals had been detected. Our deep space monitors have detected massive fleet movements in the outer spiral arms, she reported. Something is coming. Something that makes your 10,000 ships look tiny. Queen Morden Esphere returned. What kind of something? I don't know yet. Admiral Kong Wu admitted. But we know we'll need every ally we can get to face it. That's why we're not destroying you, President Lim Dehai explained. We're going to make you stronger. All of us together, using human methods, might be able to survive what's coming. The aliens began to understand. This wasn't just about punishment or mercy. This was about survival. What do we have to do? The Cathani leader asked. General Quan Jae-soon stepped forward. First, complete military integration. Your remaining ships will be rebuilt using human technology and tactics. Your soldiers will train with human instructors. Second, governmental reform. Your rigid hierarchies will be replaced with flexible command structures that can adapt to changing situations. Third, cultural exchange. Your people will learn human languages, human history, human ways of thinking, and we will learn from you as well. Ambassador Park So-young added, this will not be easy. Human methods require you to question everything, to think for yourselves, to take responsibility for your actions. Many of your people will resist. What happens to those who resist? Beltar asked. They will be given the choice to adapt or be relocated to worlds where they can live as they choose. President Lim Dehai replied. But they will not be allowed to interfere with the changes. 6 months later, the transformation had begun. Captain Lee Minho now commanded a mixed squadron of human and alien pilots. The aliens were learning to think independently, to adapt their tactics during battle, to work together despite their differences. Skahari Fighter 7, you're flying too rigidly, he called over the radio during a training exercise. Don't just follow the plan, see what's actually happening, and adjust. But Captain, came Veltar's nephew's voice, the plan says to turn left here. The plan is a guide, not a law. What do your sensors tell you? I see an opening to the right that the plan doesn't account for. Then take it. Plans are starting points. Victory comes from knowing when to change them. On another world, Dr. Kim Sujin worked with Chitic scientists. The insect people were learning to think as individuals instead of just following their queen's orders. But what if I make a mistake? Asked a Chitic researcher. Then you learn from the mistake and become better. Dr. Kim replied, humans make mistakes all the time. That's how we discover new things. The changes were happening throughout the galaxy. Former coalition worlds were becoming more flexible, more innovative, more prepared for the unknown threats ahead. But not everyone was happy. With the changes, some aliens rebelled against human guidance. They were relocated to distant worlds where they could maintain their old ways. But most began to see the benefits of thinking like humans. 2 years after the war, a new threat appeared at the edge of the galaxy. Massive ships, unlike anything anyone had ever seen, began moving toward inhabited space. President Lim Dehai stood in the new Galactic Command Center, surrounded by human and alien officers working together. Status report. She ordered. Unknown fleet approaching from Sector 7, reported a Kethany officer who now thought in human strategic patterns, estimated 500 vessels, each one larger than our biggest ships. Recommendations. President Lim Dehai asked Vel, now serving as Deputy Military Commander, stepped forward. We implement Human Protocol 7, hit and run attacks to gather intelligence while preparing main defensive positions. Queen Morden, now in charge of coordination networks, added, my people can establish communication links between all allied fleets. We can coordinate responses faster than ever before. President Lim Dog smiled. The aliens were thinking like humans now. They saw problems as puzzles to solve, not disasters to fear. Execute the protocols, she ordered. And remember, we're not the same galaxy they're expecting to find. Thanks to human guidance, we're stronger than we've ever been. The Wanderer appeared one last time, looking at the mixed human-alien command staff working together. For the first time in my long existence, the ancient being said, I believe this galaxy has a real chance to survive what's coming. Humans didn't just conquer the coalition, they made it evolve. As the unknown enemy approached, humanity and its former enemies prepared to face the darkness together. The galaxy had learned the most important human lesson of all. Sometimes, the best way to defeat your enemies is to make them into something better than they were before. And whatever was coming from the dark between the stars would soon learn what the coalition had learned. Never underestimate the humans or anyone who thinks like them.